Alright, gonna do a video on a Tram D201. This one has a diamond, even though I don't know if that was a red diamond or a yellow diamond, but this is the very last customers that I'm gonna do. I'm retiring. I'm not doing any more of these. Too old, too slow. Got oh, I hate to say it, but I guess it's true, bigger and better things to do. These are very time consuming for me and just not worth it anymore. So we're getting out of the repair business for anybody else and just gonna play with my own toys and stuff. So anyway, this is the last D201, last of a batch of a few that I took in probably in the summer, and you know, now it's January, so it took me 6 months, give or take. And I thought this one was a hardwired because I saw that diamond plate here that, you know, this is the diamond and normally it's red, so I don't know if that's faded or, you know, that's the yellow diamond, but normally the diamond indicates that it's a hardwired D201, meaning it doesn't have all those circuit boards in it and the tubes are mounted to the chassis. However, after finally getting to it and getting this thing open, as you can see, it's a normal circuit board D201. So don't let the nameplate fool you, because sometimes people change nameplates, or even Tram might have done it on their own from the factory. But if you see that nameplate, you can be sure it's a circuit board. And normally, if you see that nameplate, it's usually a hardwired. But the true trick, I done it in another video, is if that limiter here is a dual knob and it says Vox, voice activated keying circuit, you can be sure it's a circuit board. So that's a real sign. So anyway, this one's on now. It's on the air, but nobody's out there. It's late at night. Good recap. Most of the power resistors have been changed, tubes checked, bad tubes replaced, gone through, aligned, and all that. And it's working very good. Another beautiful working Tram D201. It was pretty dusty, had some few issues, you know, when I first got it. We cleaned it up, it cleaned up pretty well. You know, it's not perfect, but you know, this radio probably came out, you know, in the 70s, so it's basically 50 years old. And we definitely had some problems on that big board there. That was the receiver board. We had some overheat hot spots, broken traces and stuff we tried to clean up there. You should have saw what it was like before we got into it. And then that's the rest of it. And down there, as you can see, it had a fire at the input cord. Probably the AC cord filter caps blew, and somebody replaced the type of power cord in the socket. Somebody else put that in. I'm going to leave it alone. And it's got a 5-pin mic plug, but we put an adapter on it to our normal 4-pin. A&L works, noise blanker works. I get questions all the time, people asking, you know, can I put a VFO on a Tram D201? I'll be like, why? You know, even the 23 version or the 40 version, they have this manual tuning built in here. And from the factory, it receives only. But you make a couple mods, and one of the mods you have to do to be able to transmit on that manual or VFO dial is cut or clip out that diode right there. And in a lot of D201s, when, you know, most of them have that mod, and you know, even the mod will tell you clip one end of the diode, and most people leave it there, including me, because if somebody doesn't want the mod, you know, wants to put it back, you know, factory where you can't transmit on the VFO, you just, you know, hook that end of the diode back up. But you know, people don't know what to do, and they see that diode clipped or cut and sticking out like that. They like, what the hell's going on? I thought you went through this thing. It's like, no, that's a mod part of it. It's a little bit more. It's not that complicated to it, but that's how you get the transmit to work off the VFO. You know, you got to cut that diode out, and like I say, most people leave one leg in it. So when you enable it to transmit on the VFO, all you do is switch from crystal here to manual. And now, you know, that's the crystal selector, that's the manual or the VFO. So once you do the mod, now you will both transmit and receive on this VFO. And if you can see here, that's the normal 23. And going on up, it goes up to about a little bit past channel 55. So you got about 56 channels. It goes down about 3. So it's got -3 to 55 built in, and all the in-betweens on this VFO transmit and receive. So why would you need to hook a VFO to this? And if you need even more range, there are quite a few ways to mod that VFO. One is from the factory. When you go from crystal to manual, it basically uses one of the crystals off of this dial too, and it uses the channel 9 crystal. It does that automatically. So it uses the channel 9 crystal and it mixes in the output for the VFO, and that's how it comes up with the channel. So if you need some more range, one of the other ways to do it is to use the crystals off the crystal selector, where you can pick the crystals yourself. So on 9, you would be on frequency over here. I actually just did somebody's radio, and they said the thing is way off frequency. What's going on? I'm like, well, are you on channel 9? They're like, oh, I didn't know about that. So channel 9, you'll be on frequency. If I went to channel 1, if you counted the in-between channels too, that's about 11 channels under channel 9. So the dial will be off here, but you can go, you know, 11 below plus the 3 below it goes already. So you can go about 14, 15 channels below. And if you went to channel 23, if we hooked it up that way, you know, 9 to channel 23 is 14 plus the few in between channels, about 18 channels above. So now it would add 18 channels to that VFO, and you would be up, you know, in the 70s channels if you needed that range. So, and if it was done that way. But normally, if you don't need that range, it goes to channel 9 here on the VFO automatically, and the dial will be accurate at all times. But there are different ways to skin a cat. Another way is to add some capacitance. And I've seen some that added, you know, that's a variable capacitor there, and that's one. Here, you could add more capacitance or less, and that'll take you up and down on the VFO too, but then the dial is not going to align. But, you know, you can hook up a free counter and know where you are. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the VFO. And this radio, you know, I had it on earlier with the volume. It's actually on now. Going back to the crystal, channel 12, my normal, you know, 5-pound noise level or so. It's actually a little quiet tonight. I'm down to about 4 channels, but again, it's late at night. Ain't nobody out there. Trams have a good noise blanker, a good noise limiter. Blanker works good, but you got to have a 25 megahertz generator to align it correctly, and a lot of people don't have a 25 megahertz generator, so they aren't able to align it. You know, mic gain, transmit tone control, that's what TTC. You change the tone of your transmit. D201 is the only radios that I know that have that. Normal squelch, normal clarifier. On some you can mod the clarifier so it moves it on transmit, and somebody already did that on this one. So the receive and the transmit will be moved by the clarifier. That doesn't work so well when you do that on SSB though. because you end up searching each other. You know, you go up a couple hundred hertz, the other person goes up to get where you are, and since it moves both, you know, you go up, he go up, and you just keep on hunting each other like that. But anyway, AM SSB, crystal manual, that's the VFO, RF gain, the manual tuning or VFO dial, and then, you know, volume. RTC is receive tone control. You can, you know, turn up the treble and the bass of the receive there. I guess you can hear that. Turn up the volume. And then it's got a built-in SWR meter, SWR calibrate, SWR manual calibrate. It's like a spot switch, so you can adjust the receive to the exact place where the transmit is. But once you mod the radio to transmit on the VFO, that manual calibrate isn't going to work because you're already on the same frequency, transmit and receive on the VFO. So that's the basics of this tram D201. I already showed you. You know, it's all been done. You can hear the noise level and SSB, USB. Manual works. That's channel 47 this is listening to there. Nice and quiet radio, not hiccup and popping. You know what I've been on about 10 minutes already, and it's just doing what it's supposed to do. And last we got this freak counter in line, and we're going to transmit on it, and we are on crystal. Let me get this watt meter out the way. We are on a antenna, not a dummy load, and gonna key her down. Keying out right at 4 watts. Audio, audio, audio. Talking about 8 or 9. Listen to about 13 or so on average. And gotta put it on peak. Audio, audio. Audio, audio, audio. Good swinging thing. These things swing good when you mount them and do them right. And that's the frequency counter. We'll see if I can lock the mic and show you what this thing does with the clarifier and the VFO mod. Come on, mic lock. Get on up there. This is not easy with a camera in one hand and mic in the other, and trying to run my mouth and do all my stuff. I'm going to turn the mic gain off. So anyway, 27105.2, we're going to play with the clarifier a little bit, and you can see the transmit going up and down with the clarifier. There are many ways to mod this radio. Some like to move the transmit with the clarifier, some do not. Like I say, that's not really good for SSB. And well, we're going to go to the VFO. We're in manual now, and what I say, we're about on channel 47, 48, and uh-oh, what happened? Here we go. 27.45. We lost a lot of power up there. This is not wideband, so we're down to about a half a watt. And that's why my frequency counter is freaking out a little bit. It actually needs a little bit more watts. We're going to dial it down a little bit. And we're on channel 35 there, and we're up to 2 watts. These old radios like these old 23 channel tubers, they were not wideband. They can be made to be more wideband, but then you're going to bring in more junk in the receive and all that, because they are made to be narrowband, and it filters out a lot of those out of band frequencies. So I like to keep them narrowband. If you want, you know, 100, 200 channels, it's best to get you a modern transistor radio and not these. Yeah, you can't have everything. But anyway, you know, we're keyed down. We're going to go back to the crystal selector, you know, channel 12, 4 watt solid, you know, frequency pretty solid there. And I think we could run it like that all day. Thing doing what it's supposed to do. Anyway, last of the customers. Hey, now I'm gonna start playing with mine. You know, that's one of the ones I started on a long time ago. We'll probably go through that next and start playing with my own toys. All right, that's it for this one. Bye.